and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my very first YouTube video and the first video I've ever done speaking to the camera on my own. So it's a little bit overwhelming for me, but I'm hoping that you'll bear with me and learn with me as well as I go along. I basically woke up this morning after creating my YouTube channel a couple of weeks ago and thought, you know what, it's about time that you were brave and you just started recording videos. So here I am basically talking. There's so many different things, and that was my phone going off as well. So that's gonna be real because it's happening right now. There's so many different things that I want to talk about. Lifestyle things. I love lifestyle bloggers. There's so many that I like to follow as well. So I'd like to talk a little bit about what I get up to in my day-to-day life. Also, I'd like to talk a bit about fashion, a bit about beauty and travel, because I love travelling so much, and I'm going to Mexico in a couple of weeks. I'm hoping that I'll be able to share that with you as well. But today I wanted to talk about me and my background and, you know, get to know you so you can get to know me kind of thing. So hopefully that sounds good. So I'm Chelsey, I'm 27, I work as an investigator in London, I live in Essex. I'm not your typical Essex girl, I think isn't really my scene. I do like to go out and I like to put my makeup on, but I think that's probably about where it ends from the kind of stereotype Essex girl. I studied law at university and I trained as a barrister before I became an investigator. An investigation kind of brought me to this new exciting world of things that I'd never done before. But aside from that, I'm also completely hooked on crime fiction, and whether that's books, writing, TV, films, anything crime fiction, I'm basically there. I prefer British crime fiction just because I find it a little bit more true to our way of doing things, and it's kind of like a nice escape from work as well. So like, if you haven't watched The Bodyguard yet, don't know how realistic that is, but it's so good, so definitely watch that. So that's kind of what I like to do in terms of like film genres and stuff. I love to write as well, and I am writing a crime fiction novel at the moment, so that's quite exciting. Hopefully when I find some spare time to carry that on, I will get on with it. Also in my life are my husband Ben, who is amazing. That's his picture. And my little dog Venus, so we just adopted her, and there's her picture there. And we just adopted her from the Dog Trust, so we got her, she's 1 year old, and she's completely nuts. She is the bane of our existence at the moment, and is basically like our little baby. So anyone who's got puppies out there, you'll know, they literally take over your entire life. So I am in this room locked away from her at the moment because she can't do anything if the door's shut. So, but she is great, but she just needs a little bit more training. So if you ever have a look at my Instagram, and my handle is there, you'll see that I'm often out with her doing things or putting videos on of the stuff that she's wrecked in my house. So kind of it. And then moving on to the house, we just bought our very first house. We bought it in January. I keep saying we just bought it. Sorry, the lights changed a bit here. Keep saying that we've just bought it. We did actually buy it back in January, which feels like a lifetime ago now. And we are renovating it. So this room I'm in now, this is my office. And this is the first room that we renovated because I just wanted a little space, because I work from home sometimes, to come up and be away from the dog and away from the outside world and just lock myself away, and also to record YouTube videos as I'm doing today. So this is the first house, but I'd also love to share some of the renovations that we're doing along the way as well. And I think definitely for one of the videos that I plan to come up, I want to show you what the house looked like when we moved in, and show you what it looks like now, and then share ideas about what we're going to do with the house, because I'm quite excited about how that's going to go. Other things that I'm passionate about, I'm really passionate about mental health, about the effect that mental health has on our daily lives and social media and things like that. And I'm also kind of really passionate, this sounds a bit gory, but I'm thinking about doing a PhD in deaths in custody. And if you do feel like it, have a little Google of that and just see the kind of issues that go on with that. So I'm quite interested in learning a bit more about that for a PhD, so I'll let you know how that goes. Some other stuff about me, if you're interested, is see, I'm a redhead. The redhead comes from, this is all natural by the way. Wasn't great when I was at school, but now I wouldn't change it, so I guess, you know, swings and roundabouts. Any gingers out there, you'll know what that's like. So the red hair in my family comes from the Irish side, which is, my parents are Irish, so yeah. We've got them to thank for the redhead genes. So my family are from Dublin, but basically when I was really young, my grandparents had been living in London and they moved back, which is why obviously the accent on me is English. We lived in London and then moved to Essex, and my grandparents stayed in London for a few years and then decided that they wanted to go and retire back home. They moved from Dublin and they moved down to Wexford, which is basically where I grew up. So anytime that wasn't at school in England, I was always over there. So a lot of like the culture in me, I guess, has come from there. I'm very a lot of people tell me that I'm quite Irish in my mentality, and yeah, so whatever that means, and I do, you know, I love going there. That, to me, that's my home. So if ever I say I'm going home, that's what I mean. I'm going back to Ireland, and it's my sort of special place. So I'd love to share some videos and some photos from some trips that I've done to Ireland as well, so that you can see what the other side of my life is like, and all of that. And also, you know, our plans, I think me and Ben, hubby, we are planning, I think, one day to move home, as I'll call it, and sort of start a new chapter there, like less busy, you know, more fields, trees, lots of fresh air and beaches in Wexford. So I think that's something we're aiming for. So that's something, big part of me that's really, really important to me, and that I'll probably talk about a lot. So that's why. I have a brother. I have one brother. He's my only sibling. His name is Ben also, which gets a bit confusing. Actually, which is something else that I should tell you. We call husband Ben, Ben Fish. That's because his surname is Sturgeon. I will leave you to make an opinion on that. So we call him Benny Fish because sturgeon is a fish. For anyone who doesn't know, it's the fish that makes caviar. So, you know, maybe it has its upsides. And I'm laughing because when he watches this and he hears me say it, he's going to roll his eyes because he knows that I do not like his surname. So I'm really sorry to anyone that has the same name as him. It's just not my thing. Anyway, so we call husband Ben Benny Fish because my brother is Ben, or Benno as we like to call him, and he is a musician. They're a kind of metal band. They're called River Becomes Ocean, and this is their Instagram. So if you want to have a little look at them or a little listen, then please do. They're great. They're amazing. And I'm not just saying that because, you know, my brother's in the band. They are actually genuinely amazing. Yeah, so I'm just trying to think if there's anything. I planned out like lots of things to talk about in this, and I think people that are really experienced at doing this will probably know that you should probably plan a bit better before you start talking, but this is me. Anyway. So yeah, so that's pretty much things about me. Oh, that was it. The one thing I was going to talk about, which you may or may not be able to see. Some people can, some people can't. I have a genetic condition. It's a rare one. Me and my brother are the only people that have been reported in this country, as far as I know. That could be wrong now, but as of a couple of years ago, me and my brother took part in this big kind of medical study to try and identify the genes that had made lots of different things go wrong with our kind of health. And it was identified as something called CLPB mutation, which is very medically and not much to do with me, but it's a rare genetic condition which affects like metabolic DNA, I think. It's metabolics. And it affects me in different ways. Me and my brother both have this condition called nephrocalcinosis, which is caused by it, and that is little small flakes of calcium and protein that move through the kidneys, and it causes us both pain. It's not anything, you know, to be worried about. Like, we can live our lives, as you can see, normally, but it does cause us both quite a lot of pain, and numerous hospital visits throughout the year. So I'd like to talk a little bit about that, because it's not something that I've ever heard anyone speak about before, so it'd be quite nice to see if there's anyone out there that does have nephrocalcinosis. It's something I'm really, really interested in finding out a bit more about, how it affects other people. So let me know. The other thing is I am partially sighted, so you might see my eye wandering. This one, could be this one, who knows. I wear contact lenses, which is why I haven't got any glasses on. They are special contact lenses, and they are called gas permeable ones. I'm sure some people have heard of them. They're basically tiny little round discs that are really, really, you know, high prescription, and they mean I can see. And the reason that I'm partially sighted, other than the genetic condition, is that I had cataracts, bilateral cataracts, and they were kept coming back in the lenses at the back of my eyes, so I had to have the lenses removed when I think I was just before I was 2 years old. So my parents kind of noticed that we were having problems with our eyes, that they started to glaze over like the typical cataracts. And my brother was in quite a worse state than me actually at the time. He's a year younger, but his came on a little bit earlier. And then they started to investigate and realise that that's what had happened. So I had the lenses removed, and basically what that means is, back then it wasn't the same as it is now. So now cataract operations are quite straightforward. You can whip the lens out, put a new one in, and I think within like a certain amount of time you can see normally again, and it's quite a quick procedure. Whereas back in the early 90s when I had mine done, they used to just remove everything from the back. So they did try lasering them off and it didn't work. So they just removed everything. They removed all the stuff that sort of holds the lens in place as well. And that means that I can't have implants put in like you would nowadays to fix the vision. So instead I wear the contact lenses, but the effect that that has is that the contact lenses just make my vision like a short-sighted person, but it can't be then corrected with glasses because it's already corrected, if that makes sense. So that causes me issues with driving, so I can't drive. And also like really small print and far away stuff is like difficult for me. Imagine if you just didn't have your glasses on, if you're short-sighted. That's kind of like my normal vision. And then when I take my contact lenses out, I have these hideous glasses. I'll have to show you them one day, maybe. They don't really see the light of day. And they are really, really thick and really, really powerful so that I can see. And if I have nothing on my eyes, it's basically like a really blurry, unfocused camera. That's what it looks like. So that's something that sort of like plays a part in my whole life. Hospital visits, checkups, all of that kind of thing. I'm under Moorfields, who are amazing. So yeah, so that's about me. And there are other complications which are a little bit more personal, so I won't talk about those, but you never know, maybe one day. So yeah, if there's anyone that has genetic conditions, I'd love you to get in contact with me, and I'd love to talk a little bit more about that, because growing up I didn't have, obviously social media wasn't like that much of a big thing in the sort of like 90s and early 2000s when like I was growing up, so I never had anyone to look at that was doing these things and managing to live their life as well. So like, I'm so lucky that I've got this health condition, but that I can carry on my life like normal, you know, like I've got married, I've got a house, I work full time. I'm so lucky, and I wouldn't ever want anyone to think that I didn't feel that way, because I am so lucky that I can do all of those things, and there are people that can't. But what I would be interested to see is if there are people that are the same as me and they're in the same position and they do all these things, but they have to fit in the hospital visits and the health, you know, the side effects of the health condition as well. That would be really interesting for me to find out. So I have been rambling on for almost 15 minutes about me and my life and my history. I think that's probably quite enough for my first video. So I really, really hope that you'll come back and listen to me rabble on again. And I promise it will be a lot more interesting next time. I think I'm going to talk a bit about mental health and positive mental attitudes next time. I'm hoping that I will do a video once a month, I think, probably to start with. Maybe once every 2 weeks. I'll see how the editing process goes because I am still new to this. But you will hear from me again. And please have a look at my Instagram. Follow what I'm getting up to. I really would appreciate it. Any follows, any likes, any comments. Talk to me. Let me know what you want me to talk about in YouTube videos. I am happy to oblige. And yeah, so thank you so much for listening. I'm going to put my Instagram handle on again just so you can see it, and I really hope that you will come